لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. You're welcome to this special program we have tagged the first 10 days in Dhul Hijjah. Barakallahu fi to those presently performing Hajj. Yes, Hajj usually falls between the Islamic lunar month of Dhul Qadr and Dhul Hijjah. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. For those who are yet to fulfill that obligation of Almighty Allah, may Allah make it easy for you. So on this program, this package, we have brought it to you so that we keep ourselves abreast and enlightened on those things we are supposed to do in these very special days of Dhul Hijjah. Recall that Dhul Hijjah is the concluding month of the Islamic calendar. Special thanks to Aspira Nigeria Limited for giving us the concept, producers of Viva and Fizz detergent, Biotol, and the rest of them. We also thank ZSF as soon as they heard. They supported us modestly last year, and they have also agreed to partner with us. We say Jazakumullahu Khairan, and of course, Biggie for product support. Yes, on this very first edition of the program, we are going to be looking at the uniqueness of Islamic lunar month. Let's get sound bites from our clerics on the field. When we come back, it will be an interactive session with my studio guests. Join us shortly.
I would like to share knowledge on the Islamic calendar or lunar months as we know them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ordained that in his own kingdom there are 12 months and they are ordained by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah decided to create the universe. Within the universe there is the earth and the moon, and he did state in the Holy Quran that he made the earth to rotate over the moon, and in the process of this rotation, days and nights are coming up, and you look at some days, the day will be longer than night, and in some nights, the night is longer than the day.
And as much as possible, this is the time we need to run away from sin as much as possible. This is one of the sacred months in Islam. We have Dhul Qadr, Dhul Hijjah, Muharram, and Rajab. So this is one of the sacred month in Islam, which we need to be very conscious of what we are doing. We have to be deliberate about our action, always remembering Allah, and always looking for what to do to add to your reward from Allah.
Allah has also ordained that of these 12 months, each of the months at least will have a minimum of 29 days and a maximum of 30 days. Again, Allah ordained that of the 12 months, 6 of them shall, by his decree, will only be able to last for 30 days, while the balance of the 6 will have 29 days. And nobody knows which of these months will have 30 days or will have 29 days. We keep counting as Muslims, and as we are able to sight the moon, then we now declare that a month has started and ended with 29 days or with 30 days.
60 seconds. Grab away. Hold them tight. Sit down on it. Hold them tight.
As we count down to Eid Kabir 1445 AH, let us celebrate with those with special needs.
Have had pleasure having this celebration.
Games.
1 second. Stop.
Drama.
Ismail, you want to know the meaning of your name, right?
Yes, Abu said.
Quiz.
Is Eid al-Adha celebrated on the 10th of Dhul Hijjah? Jazakumullahu khairan for coming.
Counsel from veterans.
You have to be intelligent. You have to be brilliant. Islam is a religion of peace. everything you are doing, commit it to the hand of Almighty Allah.
There is no prayer that Allah cannot answer.
With lots to eat, drink, and exotic gifts to take away, beyond the spiritual lessons of the season.
To think of the middle class, also to think of the downtrodden. So our content is hinged on content for developmental broadcasting.
Let us celebrate with them to give them their pride of place and put a smile on their faces. Eid Mubarak in advance.
Welcome back. I'm sure the definitions and the explanation has set a proper pace for us. On this special program, we have tagged the first 10 days of Dhul Hijjah. It's a great pleasure to welcome the studios of Ames Media Company Limited, Dr. Mustafa Adebayo Bello. He is the senior lecturer of Department of Religious and Peace Studies. You are welcome to the program.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Islamic Lunar Month. What's the uniqueness of the Lunar Month, knowing that that is not the only month that guides our existence, particularly in this part of the world that is multi-religious?
It's unique because it is moderated by the sighting of the crescent of the moon. And in the Quran, Surah At-Tawbah, Quran 9, verse 36, it was clearly stated that in Iddata Shuru Indallah, that the number of months in the sight of Allah is Isna Ashara Shurur, that there are 12 months of them. Fi Kitabillah, Yawma Khalaqa Samawati wal Ard. The Allah has ordained it in the first, at the beginning when Allah created the heavens and the earth. And that verse went ahead to say that amongst these 12 months, 4 of them are sacred. And those sacred months are the months, the 3 months following, one another, starting from Zulqa'dah, which is the 11th month, Dhul Hijjah, the one we are in now, the month of Hajj, and the beginning of the next month, of the next year, Muharram. So you have about close to 90 days that Muslims are not, because Muslims are not allowed to do any form of wrangling in them. And the 4th month is Rajab, which is the 7th month of the lunar calendar. And the concept, the idea behind making those 4 months inviolable is not to say that Muslims can quarrel in other months. No. It is to say that Allah wants people, particularly not just individuals, communities, or nations, that even if there are reasons why people have to, quarrel, if there are reasons why people have to, disagree, that may even lead to confrontation, there should be a buffer month where such quarrels will be settled, months where there will be ceasefire for people to discuss and agree, bring an agreement out of the disagreements that have dominated their life, the life patterns over the past months. So those 4 months are clear. Like I've mentioned, Zulqa'dah, the 11th month, Dhul Hijjah, the 12th month, Muharram, the 1st month, and the 7th month, which is Rajab. So from the point of view of Islam, months are 12. Of course, in other parts of the world, there are several other calendars that people have 13 months, 15 months. But for us as Muslims, months are 12. And it starts from Muharram and it ends with Dhul Hijjah. Interesting.
Thank you very much. But you see that even among Muslims, these months are not very popular. We get to, this part of the world that is, it is just lately we are trying to, enlighten people that even the date, when you say, what's today's date? They will say, it's the Gregorian calendar that they will quote. Why do you think people are not really guided with what do we do to make sure that people get used to the Islamic lunar, at least Muslims?
I don't think things are getting...
Even non-Muslims, so that they will be able to know our own calendar, so to say.
Well, I think things are getting better now. Unlike in the past, that Muslims don't even know the months. And that's why even we find Muslims even complaining to the fact that why is it that our Eid, we don't celebrate Eid at the same time, or we don't have the idea of the specific period of our Eid, whether it's the termination of Ramadan with Eid al-Fitr or Eid al-Adha, which is the bigger celebration. I think the issue is because we are living in a plural society. 2, because our lives are configured. We live our lives according to the Gregorian calendar. Those of us who work, our salaries are earned based on the Gregorian calendar, and quite, I mean, it's not strange. Also, that our birth dates are marked, I mean, along the Gregorian, because the government of where Allah has placed us here does not recognize the lunar calendar, Islamic calendar. So it will be, for instance, even if you want to, I mean, configure your life along that line, in your official document, I'm sure if I asked her to write your date of birth, you would rather, because that is expected. I was born in January or February or June or July. It will very, I mean, nobody will reckon with it if you say I was born in in Jumada al-Awwal or Jumada al-Thani.
Okay, now you alluded to it earlier that people often are not too comfortable with the lunar Islamic calendar. Why do you think they criticize the fact that, we can't plan, we can't do this, particularly when it has to do with specific days or even declaring public holiday? Why I'm asking that is so that it will be an all-inclusive thing. We can all plan together, particularly when it comes to declaration of holidays.
I think those who make such excuses are not observant enough. Like I mentioned in the past, such excuses are tenable. But now, thank the Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, we have a national moon sighting committee in place over the years now. Whether on the social media, on the official media, they do come up with announcement of the commencement of every month. It's not just about whether it's Ramadan. No, every month, if you are observant on the social media, on the official media, you hear they tell us, oh, Muharram starts today and it ends at this particular day. Oh, the next month will start. And they've been doing that, I mean, religiously over the past years. So we want to commend them. Perhaps if people are not conversant with it, we should tell, particularly the Muslims and Muslim organizations particularly, let them use their correspondence. Let us also encourage dating. For instance, if you are exchanging letters to people, even in the public space, you can always put, oh, today is this particular day, and this is the corresponding date of the Hijjah. So people, Muslims, also can monitor and know how far we have gone in the lunar month and how close we are to the next month. I think we can all do that as Muslims, so that nobody will claim ignorance of when Ramadan is starting or when it's ending or the period for Hajj.
Could you also deduce this to maybe we've just classically conditioned our mind to, we are guided with the Gregorian calendar, so let it be so?
Yeah, I think that is also the reason. Particularly when you look at, we are living in a world where people love celebrations a lot, birthdays, anniversaries, and the rest. And what I've been telling people over the years that even on your phone, if you can verify your lunar birthday. With this, we'll encourage more of our people, even our children. Let us do.
Must we even do the two? If you really want to abide by the Islamic tenets, why don't you just be guided by the lunar Islamic calendar?
No, it's not even. I'm saying that because you cannot run away from the solar calendar. In fact, even in Quran 10 verse 6, it was specifically mentioned that Allah has designed both the lunar and the solar calendar for the purpose of counting the number of years and calculation. So there's nothing wrong in calculating through the solar. But we are saying because Islam has adopted the lunar calendar, that is our calendar, and it's for specific reasons. Muslims must not just use them for the purpose of religious observances alone.
Exactly.
We should also use it for other things that we do.
Guides.
The other guides. When we take, for instance, we fix dates for our marriages, our marriages of our children. Just put it there too, that today, that day is so day in Jumada al-Awwal, 14 something. So people even who are reading the invitation, they will know.
Sometimes when we want to even write some correspondence, we are searching online. What is today's Islamic date?
Yeah, we all of us be searching because we are not used to it.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Okay, the program is still a special one for the first 10 days in Dhul Hijjah. Let's take more sound bites on this particular topic. We're back to continue the conversation. First, appreciation again to our partners, Aspira Nigeria Limited and ZSF. We're back.
For us that we are alive today, that Allah now replace Ismail with a sacrificial animal for us, then it's all about being grateful to Allah for His mercy, blessings on all of us. So we can continue to say Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah, Allah Akbar. Any other form of deeply you know how to do, this is the period to be saying it, to be living on it. And as much as possible, this is the time we need to run away from sin as much as possible. This is one of the sacred months in Islam.
Let's enjoy this happy day. Eid Mubarak.
As this year's Eid al-Adha gets closer, many families won't be celebrating since there is no means.
The Eid is around, and we are so happy that the Eid is around. Many Muslims are happy, while several others are not happy because they do not have the means to slaughter ram. Why not let us join the Prophet ﷺ in his own Qurbani way, the way he slaughtered his own ram? He bought one for himself and bought one for several people that will not be able to make it. Now, we can as well do that. We started this project over the years in Zakat and Zakah Foundation. Our approach is that we gather this money, we encourage people to buy their own and buy for those who will not have. So please join this project by making your own donation. You can decide to buy a cow, you can buy ram, you can buy sheep, and you can as well make a donation. Nothing is too much and nothing is too small.
Your donations and contributions will go a long way to put smiles on the faces of many Muslims and their loved ones. Qurbani Project today and help make many Muslim families happy. Jazakumullahu khairan.
Enjoy this happy day. Eid Mubarak.
You're not supposed to be proud of yourself. You should always obey Allah.
Are you desirous of ethical media content for your child?
Today, we will be looking at a great prophet of Allah.
The Seerah of the Prophets, with children and young adults, takes us down memory lane on the life of the prophets and Sahabas.
Prophet Nuh, Prophet Yusuf, Prophet Ibrahim, Prophet Yunus, Prophet Musa, Prophet Isa, Prophet Adam.
Prophet Adam is not just the prophet of Allah, but the first man created by Allah. Prophet Yusuf was the most awesome creature. Prophet Ayub is a special prophet of Allah.
Partner with us on this unique program to provide halal alternative to our young ones and the young at heart.
This program is designed to tell stories from the lives of prophets of Allah.
For details, contact us.
ليس كل الناس أهل للعلاء خذ قرارا لك والملك لا شريك لك.
Welcome back. It's still special days, first 10 days in the month of Dhul Hijjah. And it's coming to you from the studios of Ames Media Company Limited. It's innovative and on point, at least for us to know certain things. I'm sure you have been able to grab some tips on the lunar calendar as to guide us in Islam. And I still have with us in the studio Dr. Mustafa Adebayo Bello. You're welcome back to the program.
Thank you.
Is it true, you have to confirm as the in-house stars and scholar, is it true that the lunar calendar, 12 as you have alluded to, that 6 of them are 29 days and the other 6 are 30 days? Is that correct?
To a large extent, very correct. Because when you really look at it, the number of days for lunar calendar is about 10 to 11 days shorter of the solar calendar. So we have about 354 days. And because of it alternates between those 29 and 30, unlike the solar that you have, 31, 30, or in the leap year that you have 29. Because you have aggregation of the excess number of hours for the days are now put together in 4 years to make a leap year. So from the point of, in the solar calendar is calculated 29 and 30 days. Okay. So it's correct.
Okay, is it also true that in annually there's a particular distance the Earth has to move to be able to complete these days that we're talking about?
Yes, those who are in the realm, in astrology and astronomy, they can tell in exactitude the number of hours or days. But what is clear is that the gap between the solar and the lunar is just 11 days. And that's why in calculation, Muslims, without even necessarily trying, looking forward to the announcement of the National Moon Sighting Committee, you can calculate by taking 10 or 11 days. So you can know the time for commencement of Ramadan of next year. If you know the time of we commence
of this year
in solar, just remove about 10 or maximum 11 days. You'll be able to be sure that, oh, by next year, this is the time that Ramadan we'll have Ramadan.
Okay. Sometimes I also personally observe that, oh, if Ramadan is 30 days this year, it's most likely that it will be 29 next year.
Very likely. But because, very likely, and that's why there's this, the degree of what they call probability is high. That if Ramadan is 30 this year, the degree of probability to be 29 next year is very high. But the issue is that we have been asked by Al-Abid, that the Quran, that we should look out for the moon first. It is when it is not unclear for many reasons that we can now do the calculation.
Okay, but you know that some people among the critics will say that must we rely on the moon? That even scientifically now, all these things are supposed to have been, orchestrated or just known. And that is why there's a gadget you use to. What do you have to say about that?
Well, in the past, there had been a lot of resistance from Muslim countries, scholars of Islam, who believe that we should just use the normal, way of sighting. Just asking scouts to go out towards the end of Sha'aban, and people now have to climb mountains, go to valleys or look to places where the sky is clearer to sight. But that is, that is being jettisoned now. In the last 2 years now, even Saudi Arabia and even Nigeria, some of these sophisticated, equipment have been, procured, and they are now deploying it to say, okay, since we can calculate. We have even wristwatches that can tell us exactitude of time anywhere in the world. Let us deploy science.
Qibla finding.
Right, yeah. So now science is being deployed now. Like what happened this year, it was science. It was science that was deployed that was able to tell the scholars and say, okay, in the next 4 hours, the crescent of Sha'aban will go down. And in this also number of hours, the crescent of Ramadan will be sighted.
So meaning that Islam is totally not against science?
At all. Not at all. At all.
All right.
Yeah.
Interesting. First 10 days of Dhul Hijjah. We are having these conversations coming to you from the studios of Ames Media Company Limited. I forgot to tell you, it's interactive. And that means you can participate on this program. We have questions for you, and there are arrays of gifts to be won. You see, we're very magnanimous. Another Ramadan largesse, Abi, whatever you call it. Our partners have been kind enough to say, okay, let's also endow them with gifts. But we'll come to that. Finally, we are gradually coming to the end of the program now, at least this edition. Now, how do you think you can encourage people to be guided, Muslims, even non-Muslims, because since we are talking of peaceful coexistence and the federal government is guided by the Gregorian calendar, they also need to know about the lunar calendar. When we have to declare holidays, we have to celebrate, to aid planning. How can we all embrace the lunar calendar?
I think the first thing is for Muslims to know that it is theirs, that this calendar is ours. And for them to also understand why Allah has chosen the lunar calendar for us, and also to know the advantages in it. When Muslims, who I'm sure are in preponderance of the population in Nigeria, when they adopt, they see the lunar calendar as theirs, and we use it even if we cannot use it in our official correspondence, in our interpersonal relationship, we can use it. I'm looking forward to that time when a Muslim brother or a sister or somebody that I know will say, oh, I am celebrating my lunar birthday. Yes.
If you must.
Yeah, if you must. That I'm celebrating that. Okay, that when you are, you are sharing your invitation cards for wedding, for all those things that we do, you also put. It is because until we're able to put in the consciousness of our people, and Muslims now start reckoning with that one, then we will not go far on it.
You know, interestingly enough, some very, very conscious Islamic organizations, they're already using the lunar month.
Yes, I
for
am.
Even to pay salary, whatever they have to do is a way of also enlightening the people. Okay, so it's a wrap on this edition of the program, but we can't go without letting you participate on the program. How do you participate? Of course, by answering our question. On this edition of the program, the question goes thus. What are the sacred days in Islamic calendar? You know, there are some, is that correct? There are some sacred days, just like we have our sacred month, right?
Yeah.
So what are those sacred days in the Islamic calendar? You have an array of gifts to win from Aspira, ZSF. Let me tell you, you want a ram for your Eid? Or you want Eid meat? ZSF, let me give you the hints. ZSF is saying, somebody may, a lucky winner may win that. Just watch out. Once again, appreciation to our partners, Aspira Nigeria Limited, makers of Fizz and Viva detergents, both liquids and detergents. And of course, ZSF and Biggie Products. Join us same time tomorrow when we shall bring you the continuation of this conversation on our special program, the first 10 days in Dhul Hijjah. Once again, thank you very much for coming on the program.
It's a pleasure.
See you tomorrow, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.